Well, this is it, man. The day has arrived that I have to ship the RBZ. But before I take her down to the port, I'm going to clean up a few things and make a few minor tweaks to ensure that this car does not get scumbagged. In general, the car is pretty clean. I keep it pretty clean all the time, but I still need to just do a once over, make sure there's no hanging dirt or dust, make sure there's no debris inside the car. Really, the biggest thing is organic material like plant and dirt and stuff like that. I'm already at a low enough fuel level, so that's all good to go. I also need to go through the car and remove all my personal stuff. The only thing I can leave in the car is a spare tire and a jack. And I think the registration documents, fire extinguisher, and any other things that are inside this car, I need to go ahead and remove them and take them out, which is kind of unfortunate because I really wanted to go ahead and ship all my tools in this car as well, so I'd have them during the drive. I've already got a fix for that. I'm gonna ship all the tools to my brother who lives in LA, so when we touch down, they'll be at his house. I can have them on the trip where I'm going. I'm really nervous about shipping this car. People are people, man, and you know, people just do people things, and you can't control anything on the face of this earth that has a brain. And so there's a couple little minor tweaks that I'm gonna be making to this car to ensure that it doesn't get scumbagged. And what I mean by that is that nobody decides that they want to be trying to rip it down the docks or boost it or just go crazy with it. We're going to take care of it. We're going to put some safeguards in place. So right now, I just need to go ahead and clean it up, freshen it up, empty it out, and then we'll talk about the modifications I'm going to make to make sure that this RBZ is as safe as it can be in transit. Last time I showed you the trunk when it was all complete, it was all put together, so there really wasn't a lot that you could see kind of behind the scenes. But now, since I got it all apart, since I'm vacuuming, I'll show you like the lower depths of the trunk so you can kind of see what I ended up doing. Here is the boards. I reused the factory little spongies that touch against the tire. The board is in two pieces. This was necessary because there's some overhang here and there's some overhang here. I used the same carpet that I did on the speakers on the actual floor of the trunk, so the entire floor of the trunk has been done in that black carpet. And then these are the crossovers to the component speakers that are back here. Again, 6-inch subs here and tweeters up in the hatch. So these just break out the signal into the highs and lows, and yeah. Oh, and I also added these aluminum rails to the actual speaker boxes themselves, and that just helps create that extra bit of support on the two sides of the boards, because otherwise there would be nothing and it would want to sag over here on the speaker side. So that was super important that that happened right there. Got the tools hanging out back here, the ramps over here, pretty much everything I need. The one thing I still need to do is I need to go ahead and double check the air pressure in my spare. I do run the big brakes in the front, so I can't use a spare in the front, but if I got a front flat, I could put the spare back here and put one of these up there, and I know these are offset wheels and blah blah blah, but in an emergency it'll all still work. So let me put some air in the tire here and make sure it's all good to go, button the trunk back up, and yeah, then I think we'll be set. I'm glad I checked that tire pressure on that spare, man. It's supposed to be at 60 on a spare. It was at 8 PSI, dude. It was pretty low. And I went ahead and checked all the rest, and they were all pretty low too, about 28, so pumped them up to where they need to be. The interior, man, oh my gosh, the interior, it is super fine, super clean. Oh man. Still smells like fresh, wonderful leather. So we did our part inside. I also checked the wheel wells. There was some little dirt collection on both sides of the wheel well here. Now I just need to look at the engine bay, which shouldn't be a big deal. And then we're gonna make a small little tweak to the car to ensure that it doesn't get taken advantage of. And then I think we're gonna be on our way. So there's really not too much worry in the engine bay. I keep it show ready all the time. All I needed to do is just take a soft paintbrush to it and clean up some water spots, and I think it's pretty good to go. Not much to really worry about or clean inside here. There's no leaks, everything's really clean, so I'm not too concerned about the engine base. Need to move on to the couple little tweaks that we're gonna do. One that I've already done, one that I was gonna do, but the other day I was driving on the highway and once again my front sway bar grounded out, and I'm like, damn it, man, I'm done. I got to figure out a way to fix this. I went to every hardware store, every pneumatic store, every plumbing store, every freaking store that would possibly have coupling nuts. Could not find the right coupling nuts that I needed. I found the right thread and size in metric, but I just couldn't find the right length. I looked on the internet, I could not find what I needed, and the one thing I did find that I could have used, $95 to 2-day ship to me. I was like, no, I'm gonna make something work. I have already fixed this problem, but let me show you the new end links that I put together.
Okay, if the sound is a little weird, it's because I'm kind of off to the side and I've got you underneath the car, but you see there are 2 coupling nuts back to back right there, and then the link is extended off of that. For one, the end pieces of these are threaded in way more to the coupling nut, so this is way safer than it was. And for 2, this is way longer, almost a full inch, if not a little bit more longer than it was previously, which brought the bar up quite a bit, but still lower than the oil pan, so there's still that safety net. What I did for the inside is I used those 2 coupling nuts, then I took a 10.9 grade automotive stud, put it in between those 2. I also put some JB Weld in the threads of that stud, so when I put them on those coupling nuts, that is now a freaking full permanent assembly. Those 2 coupling nuts are not ever coming apart. The stud in the middle is all JB welded inside, but they're JB welded to each other on that middle seam and then tightened down like crazy tight. So this really is one solid piece, and I did that on both sides. So now the sway bar is exactly where I want it, where I need it, and I shouldn't have any more issues.
The bar is now about 1 inch to 1.5 inches higher than it was. It should clear almost anything I put at it, and eventually when I go ahead and upgrade the shocks on this car and put some stiffer shocks in, I won't have as much rebound travel, and hopefully that will also remedy some of the problem. I think we're gonna be in a way safer place, and I'm really stoked about it. So I talked about doing a tweak to my car to anti-scumbag it, and I'll tell you what, as I've been cleaning, as I've been just kind of pondering, as I've been getting ready, as I've been chatting with my wife, who is the voice of reason in my life, I've come to think that I'm going to head and leave the car the way it is. I'm going to trust and have faith in people, faith in humanity. I think I'm going to be fine. In the long run, this is probably the best idea, but I still want to show you what I was going to do, and what I was trying to do was make it so this car would not boost at all. So you would think you would just go into your boost controller and you'd turn it off, or you'd deactivate the boost controller, or you'd go into the Haltech and you'd set the boost extremely low. But the fact of the matter is that boost is a mechanical thing. Every turbo has a wastegate. It has to have a wastegate. That's the way turbos work. That's the way they keep themselves safe. Sometimes there's internal wastegates such as these, where it's built into the turbine housing. Sometimes it's external wastegates, like you see the teal or the poppet style ones that are in the exhaust manifold themselves. And I know a lot of you already know about turbos, but if you don't, this pressure signal comes from the manifold, and when there's boost, when there's pressure in this line, it pushes on a valve inside here which is against a spring. And once that starts to push, it will move this rod, which then rotates that lever right there, which is attached to the wastegate, and it opens up. This is important because these are mechanically set for 9 pounds, which means at 9 psi of pressure, this will be 100% fully open. With it being open, no more exhaust gases can continue to turn the turbine housing. They are now diverted out of that opening. Quick class, a turbo works because the exhaust spins the turbine. It spins it, spins it, spins it. The faster the engine goes, the more gas, the faster it's spinning. And really, without a wastegate, it would infinitely spin the turbine, and that is how you get boost runaways. So if you're ever driving and you just can't control your boost, let's say you have your boost controller set to 10 psi and your car's boosting to 25 or 30, or it's just freaking over boosting like crazy, it's because something is wrong with your pressure signal. Something is wrong with that signal getting to the wastegate and allowing it to open fully. It's still closed, and it's still allowing the turbine housing to build boost. With that said, you can't just disconnect this vacuum line, because if you disconnect this, the wastegate will never have any pressure ever to open this valve, and it will stay infinitely shut because of the spring that's in here. And if it's shut, you will have infinite boost because it will never have a way to relieve itself out the exhaust. So, to kill your car, to set your car up for 0 boost, what you have to do is disconnect the arm from this arm. That's it, man. If I take the little clip off of here and I pull the wastegate actuator arm off of the actual wastegate and just disconnect that, and then take some ties, maybe some metal wire or something like that, and take this valve, open it up all the way, and then strap it so it stays open, the turbo will never, ever, ever build any boost because all exhaust pressure will be immediately evacuated and it will never have a chance to spin the turbine housing. Now, it will still spin it just because it's traveling through there, and you may get maybe 1 PSI of boost, but it will basically always have an atmospheric balance of 0 because you're evacuating everything and there's no way for pressure to build up and turn that turbine housing. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna disable my car, make it so nobody could boost it at all. But I'm not gonna do it, man. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I feel like these are one of those things that super freaking paranoid weirdo people do, and I don't want to be a super freaking paranoid weirdo person. Am I gonna worry? I'm gonna worry regardless. Regardless of whether I disable the boost or not, I'm gonna freaking worry. And you know what? I'm just not gonna put myself through all the extra work just because I'm lacking faith in humanity at this point. So I'm gonna leave it alone. We're gonna take the car to the port. We're gonna trust that people are gonna do the right thing. We're gonna make sure that everything is good to go. And yeah, I'm gonna get my stuff together. I'm gonna be leaving in about half an hour for the port, and I'll take you guys with me, and we'll say goodbye to the RBZ, man. Goodbye for now. Time to go. You know, I have so many mixed feelings about shipping this car. Like, I know it runs well and it performs well and everything about it's done and it's great, but I don't know, man. It's just the idea that when I end up where I end up, that it's gonna basically be my daily, at least for a little while, till I figure out a situation or whatever. But it kind of sucks, and also, there's only so much you can do on a project that you gotta rely on, and you gotta drive all the time, and having to go through the process of shipping it, and gosh, man, I just got so many rambling, conflicting thoughts about this whole process. But in the end, to be able to have this thing with me, to still tinker, to keep my mind off of things, like I said, school's gonna be pretty intense, so I'll be able to just kind of this will be my relief. I won't have to think about it just sitting in a garage, wasting away, doing nothing. And man, when I've got time, I get to go enjoy the open road of the mainland US, man, and I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully this car is the gateway to meeting other people and doing other things and going to other stuff. And yeah, so in the end, I know it's gonna be cool. It's just, man, I need to get through this conflict that I've got. That's really the key. So I'm almost there, and traffic. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm almost there. Let me get through this traffic, and then yeah, we'll start working the process. Not sure if I'm at the right place, but I'm here. The office is back there. I'm gonna grab all my paperwork. I guess this is the right place. We'll see. We'll see. The money has been spent. $870. That's really, when you think about I'm shipping a vehicle from the middle of the Pacific to the West Coast, it's not bad. Really. And it's only taking a week to get there, so that's pretty awesome as well. It'll be sitting in Long Beach waiting for me. Now I just need to go through this inspection station and have the agricultural department do the inspection and make sure I'm not smuggling something. And then, yeah, we're ready to go. Inspection time. Whoop. More paperwork. Inspection's done, man. That's it. That's it, bro. So yeah, that's it, man. Inspection's over. Looked it over, and of course everything's good to go. There's no issues with the car, but yeah, they're gonna start it up, drive it where it needs to go, and yeah, she's taking off now. Bro. She don't even know what she's driving, man. Okay. So yeah, that's it. It drove away somewhere. It's gone. I guess I'll see it later. But the good news is that yeah, I dropped the Z off and I don't have it for a while, but I get to ride home in a Ferrari. Ow! Ow! There she is, in the impound, waiting in a line, ready to roll out.